Are y'all ready for a story time? Yes, you are. There's so many good storytellers on the show. It's bananas, y'all. But the first two that I'm going to welcome to the stage have never met each other, ever. I met Erin Popelka because someone saw her at a storytelling show and they were like, you have to meet her. And they were right. Anyone who puts on a haunted bingo is a person that I want to meet. Anyone who buys haunted toys off the back of a truck in Tacoma, they're terrifying. She's somebody I want to meet. She's one of the most incredible persons I know in Seattle, and we only recently became friends, and now we're friends forever. And she's moving to India, so appreciate her while you have her. I hope your friends knew that. Okay. And the other, the Erin Popelka that I do not know, is also a phenomenal human being. And I'm going to find out all about her this evening the way that you are. So if I could, chicken-masked women, get you to come to the stage, slowly and carefully, from either corner of the room. And then not fall while you get on stage. We have a mic for Erin Popelka. We have a mic for Erin Popelka, and they have 25 minutes to tell you all about themselves. Welcome to the stage, Erin Popelka and Erin Popelka!
3, 2, 1.
Hi, hello. Hi. So I'm Erin Popelka.
I'm Erin Popelka.
Yes. Oh, you're in the mask. Yeah. Delightful. We are the only two Erin Popelkas in the world.
Yeah, this is it. Like right here. That's all there is. We think maybe there was another one, but she either died or got married. We're not sure. Well, we looked for her on the internet before this, and we couldn't find her anywhere.
Not even a Google image search. It's
Nothing.
Just
Yeah. Not even the ones where you like pay to get the information from the people. Like nothing.
You paid?
I mean, they give you a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, like a little, just to like, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And well, before tonight, there was only one person in the world who had met both of us. My roommate, Hillary Jones from college.
Who I met by accident at an MBA conference, and it was during a Target, the company Target corporate briefing, and she saw my name tag and she started freaking out, and then we both started freaking out in the middle of this corporate briefing, which is why neither of us work at Target. But I always thought it was funny that, the only two Erin Popelkas in the world got put in touch by a Jones.
Go figure.
Yeah. So this is we're actually meeting, we kind of scripted a tiny bit, but
That's the end of the script.
That's the end of the script. And this is just like what we would talk about if we were meeting, which we are.
We are indeed.
Yeah.
For the first time, right now.
Like, you're here for it. Thank you. And we're not going to look at the audience because we're going to look at each other because, we're going to a little bit. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. But part of why it's so strange is Popelka itself is a really rare name. And it is Czech, and it actually means Cinderella. And Erin is Irish and means Ireland, so we are basically princesses from the Emerald Isle. It's the closest I can figure. But from what we know of each other so far, we didn't figure out that that's what our name meant until we were both in college.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and for me it was very secondhand. So my boyfriend, now husband, had next door neighbors who were Czech. And he happened to mention, oh yeah, my girlfriend Erin Popelka. And they were like, Cinderella? Who are you seeing? Wait, what?
Girlfriend,
don't let her go. And hey, look, we're still together. But that was in college for me, yeah.
Yeah, for me it was just like the student ID cards had our names on them, and I swiped at a just at a like a meal plan thing, and the woman who was working there was Czech, and she started like just gushing. And that's when I found out. Like my parents thought it meant little ash tree, like the tree, like the poplar tree, which I guess might be the technical name for it.
Oh, we did not talk about trees in my family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did your family say it?
You know, I don't know. I don't know that we ever really had a word for it. It always got shortened when we were like waiting for reservations at a restaurant. I think my mother always would be like, "Oh, Pope. I don't want them to have to worry about Popelka. It's too long. It's too complicated." Which is your nickname, right? Which
It's kind of weird because I've never really like said it as a nickname, but everywhere I've been, it's kind of eventually come out. Like the most recent job I have, sometimes people call me Big Pope. Some of my friends call me Pope. Some call me Lady Pope. Like just a variety of that. I've never gotten really anything else.
Crazy, because I have actually never gotten Pope.
Really?
But for me, it's always been Popo, which is like the worst nickname ever. We're just gonna like pause and talk about how horrible the nickname Popo is. One, it's like slang for police, and so it's like, "Hey, Popo," and then everyone leaves. Not good. Also not good because it means like little tush in German. Like, oh, look at that little Popo. It's also not good. But with a first name like Erin, I never had any, like there was no shortening Erin.
Yeah, it's as short as it can be.
Yeah, there was,
yeah,
and
you
like,
can only make it longer, really.
When I was in 4th grade, there was a girl who's new, Erin Gobert, and when she showed up, she got to be Ermo, which is only cool in 4th grade, but I was super jealous that she got to be Ermo and I was Erin. And so Popo was kind of a relief, even though it means like butt and police.
When I was in elementary school, my best friend's name was Erin, and her name is Erin Wilhelm, and her dad used to call us Erin Wee Wee and Erin Pee Pee. And which drives me nuts. We hated it.
That's worse than Ermo.
Erin was a good get. Like, that's all right.
Yeah.
I've, what was it? Did you ever have, like, where there was a boy Erin?
Oh yeah, always.
And then what did they call you when there was a boy Erin?
Oh, then I became Erin P.
Oh, okay. I can hear EP a lot, too.
Yeah. Or EP. I like EP. I can roll with EP.
I never get EP. Yeah.
This is so crazy. Same name.
Yeah.
So many different variations.
Except for, like, on Outlook, if I don't put a picture of myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, indeed.
But I feel like Microsoft's nickname for me doesn't count.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yes, don't let Microsoft decide anything.
Yeah, they also like Air Pope. That's the other one they can use sometimes.
Ooh, Air Pope.
Yeah, I feel like you don't need the R's, like Pope.
And that's really Apple. Like the air, you know? Like
yeah, I don't think I knew that part.
No, you don't need that part.
No.
No, not so much. Not so much.
No. Do you get like a lot of mispronunciations?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
What kind do you get?
You know, usually there's just that like long hesitation.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're like, Erin. And it's like they're trying to decide if you're just going to jump in and save them or if you're going to make them try. And usually I make them try. And so, I mean, like, Popolinka is really...
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, you know, it's like Plinko, but better, I guess.
I used to get Popelka.
Oh, Popelka, yeah.
Yeah, but with like a pause, like a pregnant pause in there.
It's always like the pop, like they can handle the pop. And then it's like, I mean, it's actually not tricky because then it's just like Popelka.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was actually worried when we would meet that I would pronounce Popelka differently than you.
We actually do the same.
That's amazing.
Yeah, which is funny because my family, like a lot of people say, they don't pronounce the O, they say Popelka instead of Popelka. Yeah, Popelka. Yeah.
Yes. And I always pause for the po, and maybe it's like lingering from popo. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise the connection's not there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and you know, some friends would, you know, shorten popo to just po. And so I feel affinity to po.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't see that. It's just like a strong syllable.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I've also gotten helicopter.
Yes, and actually your website is Popelka.
It is, yeah.
Which is super exciting. Right, because I did feel like I needed to apologize because I have ErinPopelka.com.
That's okay, I have erinpopelka@gmail.com.
You did beat me there, yes. I did think about you because I knew you existed when I registered ErinPopelka.com, and I'm like, I hope the other Erin doesn't get mad. So now I can ask you.
Yeah, right?
Were you really
negotiate.
disappointed? Did you try to find?
I never tried to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I think with Popelka, I wanted to maintain at least the illusion of secrecy.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, because I want to put art on there that maybe I don't always want associated with, I don't know, business stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so instead you just have to be associated with my art.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so wait, we should figure out the social media stuff. So you've got, what about Instagram? Do you have Erin Popelka on Instagram?
I think it's just Popelka.
I think I have EK Popelka.
Perfect.
Okay, great. There's room for another one.
There is. There's
Yeah.
room for another one. Maybe. I'm just gonna like grab it when we get up. Like, Instagram, Erin Popelka is open.
And then Facebook doesn't matter. Like, people are the same one.
No, yeah, we're the same.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have Popelka on Twitter too, but I don't really use it.
Yeah. I think I'm Popelka on Twitter, but I also don't
Okay.
love Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not working for me. I should get into it, maybe. I say it, and then I don't.
Audience says no.
I think that counts. That's good. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. How have you felt about Erin?
Yeah.
Did Erin resonate with you? Does Erin resonate with you?
Well, my mom picked Erin as a name because she was an engineer and she started working in the late 70s, early 80s, and she faced a lot of sexism. And one of the things that she was told was, we don't want to call you Susie because it sounds too feminine, and we're going to call you Sue because Johnny Cash wrote that song, so close enough. And it always made her really, and she left the industry because of she was bullied, and she didn't want to be an unhappy person. So when she named me, she wanted a name that could kind of go either male or female, but based on the sound, so that I would never be in a position where I would have to change my name to appease, whoever's perspective.
Wow.
So I think because that was the meaning behind the name. Now, when I was really young, I really wanted the name Lindsay. I don't remember why. I wanted my full name to be Lindsay Brooke, which is a terrible name. I hope nobody's named that. But I think as soon as I knew why she named me that way, I felt a really strong connection. And my sister's name is Gail, which was the same concept.
Sure.
Yeah, and also Irish names.
Yes.
Are you Irish?
I am not Irish.
I am not Irish even a bit.
Go figure. But maybe not. But we're Ireland.
So we're Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting because Erin, and I say this knowing that my parents are in the audience, and so I say this very hesitantly, but I've actually never loved the name Erin. In fact, so it always, it was interesting that you mentioned the male Erin name, because my parents in the early 80s, not from pictures, but were convinced that I would be a boy. 110%. Yep, this child is male. And I was born, and they were like, oh no. And I only had this list of boy names. And so it became this 3-day long process. What are we going to name this child? Nothing fit. So they had liked the name Erin for a boy. And they're like, oh, we'll just change the spelling. And so I became Erin. And it's funny because I don't know, and so that was the story that I was always told about my name. But what's interesting about that story, so it was always it was the second choice from the beginning. But what's funny about that story, so that's the story I knew forever. And then 5 years ago, my parents move out of the house where they've lived for 20 years, and I'm there helping them clean out the attic, and lo and behold, my mother, who keeps many wonderful things like report cards and algebra binders and baby blankets, and actually even my birth, the wristband from the hospital when I was born.
The snap bracelet.
Yeah, so in the box of things from when I was a baby, she said, oh, look, Erin, here's the list of names we brainstormed for you for when you were born. And lo and behold, there's boy names and girl names. And so I'm like, what is the story that you have always told me? I'm very confused. And the thing that was heartbreaking was there was actually a name on there that I kind of adore. And they didn't pick it. So it was Isa. It was Isa, so it would have been Isa, I-S-A, Popelka, which I kind of adore, but
It's a nice name.
it's a nice name. It's
we
not
wouldn't
names.
be here.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't be meeting. So everything worked out for a reason. Maybe there is an Isa Popelka in the world, and I will tell her that I like her name better than mine.
Should definitely do it in like a really threatening way, though.
Yes, I want your name.
Yeah. Give it to me now.
Yes, the stare down. I'm not great at the stare down, but I could practice.
Yeah, I think it's just an acquired skill, really.
Perhaps. Have
Yeah.
you done a stare down?
Yes. So I probably I first knew you existed when I was in high school.
Yes.
Because I was Googling not Google, I was like web crawler, but I was web crawlering myself.
Uh-huh.
That sounds gross. On the internet, and a bunch of high school swim times came up, and I was like, I like swimming, but I can't swim that fast.
Hilarious. Yep, that was me. I totally crushed your name. And I think I knew about you at one point, because I think my mother was like, yes, there's some Popelkas in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think she was like, I think there's another Erin Popelka in Wisconsin. And I think I found your cross-country running times.
Oh, they were not impressive. Yeah.
They were there, yeah. So found those too, for sure.
I was actually the slowest runner. They should not have put those times on the internet.
They're probably down by now.
They're probably down by now, yeah.
And likewise with my high school swimming times, hopefully those have also laid to rest.
Well, you probably still have some records. But it is crazy that we're both really into swimming.
Yes, we have both coached swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I coached swimming in Nigeria without any license to.
Go Corrales boys, who are probably now 16.
Crazy.
Yeah. And we're not so different in age too, right?
No.
I think we're pretty close.
I'm 35.
36.
Whoa. That's weird.
Oh, that means I had the name first.
That means Wait, what month?
July.
Okay, November. So pretty split.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
That is interesting.
That is interesting. Maybe I like the name more now.
That's probably why you get on the website.
Maybe so. Thank you. That's like the older present. I'll take it.
Okay, so we also we got 5 minutes left. So we're gonna take 3 of it to talk about something we thought about before that we wanted to end on. But is there anything that anybody would want to ask about people having the same name? That you're curious about that we can talk about?
Are you related?
We don't think so.
Maybe
Do you have relatives in
really.
Wisconsin?
I think it goes back to my uncle Jeremy has gotten into checking out the Popelka line. And from what I understand from my parents calling in today, is that, so my grandfather Bob had a dad, Joe, who had a father, John, who came to Wisconsin from Czechoslovakia in the 1860s and moved to Racine, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So I think we go back great-great-great-grandfather.
So we're much more recent. My grandfather, my grandfather was the first of his family born in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
Anton, and they would have come in from Czech, and his parents did not speak English.
Wow.
And then he settled in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, which I think is actually kind of far from Racine.
Yeah, I don't know Wisconsin as well as you probably do.
So we may not actually be related,
Crazy.
but yeah, or if we are, it's very distant. Well, we're both already married.
Yes.
Oh, in the past. Oh, have you ever?
Have I ever? My boyfriends are a James and a Pascal, and I married a Dave.
An Etienne and a Robert. I got married really young. No. Oh, but I got a speeding ticket this week. No, sorry, a parking ticket this week for parking in an unmarked crosswalk. That doesn't count, right?
And no arrest records. No. Well, I'm trying to think. I did think about like conscientious objection in college, but I think my mother talked me out of it. That will be on your record forever.
Do you both live in Seattle?
I live in Seattle.
I live in Spokane.
Oh, okay. How did you come to be in Washington?
I got a job here. I was doing grad school and then was job searching, and it just happened. The thing that came up was in Seattle, completely random.
Yeah. And I picked the Pacific Northwest very carefully for Dallas. Was sort of picked from all of the things that I wanted to have to be happy, and that was 10 years ago. And so I haven't left the Pacific Northwest.
How common is your name in the Czech Republic?
Apparently not super common, because I was in the Czech Republic like a couple summers ago, and I told some people in a bar that my name was Popelka. They didn't believe me. It doesn't seem to be have you seen one?
Yeah, when I was in the Czech Republic, it didn't seem super common. But what you would see is that I think that when a friend was teaching English in the Czech Republic, they were doing a play of Cinderella, and so all the billboards said Popelka. And so my friend Katie Porter would call me up "You're everywhere here."
Oh man, that's amazing.
Do government agencies ever confuse the two of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think, maybe not that, but when you pay to get personal information on someone, like we were mentioning before, when I was looking to see if there was another one to do some research, I did see that some of our information was mixed. So it was saying that I was related to some of your relatives, and I was like, I don't know any of them. I guess I will soon.
Those sketchy.
Sketchy. Okay, so we are out of time, but the very last thing that we did want to say is that, as we mentioned, we're both married, so we both had the opportunity to leave the Popelka clan, and we both chose not to.
Yeah, we kept our name. So there's something about being Erin Popelka that you don't want to let it go.
Is there a reason that you chose specifically, or?
So being Cinderella, it had to be good for me to change it.
I thought the same thing. My baseline was Butterworth.
Ooh.
Because then you could be Mrs. Butterworth.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anything besides.
Anything besides. Yeah. So, my husband's last name is Mowry. And if you think that, Erin Mowry doesn't roll off or Erin Popelka doesn't roll off the tongue, Erin Mowry is just it's like you're chewing meat. It's just a lot of, I just couldn't do it. So there was a moment when we, got Scrabble tiles out and, did the letters for Popelka and did the letters for Mowry, and we, tried to come up with something, and we got this close to Larke, L-A-R-K-E. But my husband is the last Mowry, and so when we went to talk to his parents about it, his dad was again, long pause. Well, if you want to change your name. And it was sort of you could feel us killing him slowly with this idea that we would both voluntarily change our name, and the last Mowry would be no more because we wanted to. So I stayed Erin Popelka, and he stayed Dave Mowry. How about for you?
It just was too interesting. I couldn't let it go. ATM is over here. Lambert, it's just a perfectly nice name, but I really liked it, and it became part of me, and I didn't want to let it go.
Yeah, same for me. Aww.
Yay! Well, thank